To have a successful autumn-winter vegetable garden, avoid these 7 mistakes. Making even 2 could leave you with almost nothing to harvest. Hey there, farmers. I hope you're all doing well. We're here at my farm in my vegetable garden. Both autumn and winter gardens. The ones you see that are a bit more grown are from the autumn garden, while the smaller plants are from the winter garden, which will be ready in the coming months. But let's get straight to the point. I'll give you a list of 7 mistakes, showing you and giving you solutions so you don't make them. Of course, so you can also bring home a lot of harvest from your own garden at home. Then, the best way to avoid mistakes in your autumn garden is to subscribe to the channel. That way, with the notification bell on, you'll be updated on every step. The first big challenge we have is the weather, so doing late transplants or planting at times when the seedling won't be able to grow. Let's look at some concrete examples. Naturally, in these cases, we have to keep in mind that Italy is very long and narrow, so it has many different temperatures. So whether I'm talking about Trentino or Sicily, even if the days are the same, the temperatures are completely different. To give you an idea, when we talk about northern Italy, the north and central Italy differ in temperature by about 15 days, and southern Italy differs by almost a month in terms of temperature. So, in summary, if I'm talking about September, what applies to early September for the north is mid-September for central Italy and late September for southern Italy. Of course, this is just a rough estimate. We can transplant all our cabbages until about mid-October. If we get to mid-October, we should focus on all the early cabbages. This also applies to salads, to the varieties that are a bit more resistant, like the classic iceberg, but also a range of radicchios. Please remember, let's choose the earliest salads or cabbages. This also applies, of course, to all radicchios and all chicories, which I still include in the broad group of salads. Keep in mind that more or less the autumn and winter garden is mostly made up of cabbages or salads, so all of them anyway. Leafy vegetables for everyone instead are the vegetables that come from a garden, more for a summer April. I'm thinking of all the cut salads, zucchini, tomatoes, eggplants, peppers. Of course, those are separate. Since it's past transplanting time, we should have transplanted them by early September at the latest, and we're already at the limit. Those crops will need to be protected later on with a non-woven fabric cover. But are you still on time? Separately, we'll have the sowings that we'll do in November. So all the peas, all the beans and the garlic, the onion, but those are a separate chapter. You understand well that if we plant our plant at a different time than the ideal one for its growth, either the plant doesn't sprout at all, or it stays stunted, or it doesn't bear fruit. Waiting for the next season when conditions are better. However, even then, the harvest won't be satisfactory, as it will likely bolt. Irrigation is often done too early or even completely absent. You see, I fixed them all. Because these days, especially in September, are sometimes very rainy, sometimes a bit chilly, but sometimes still very, very hot. Sometimes we still reach 30 degrees, especially in southern Italy and central Italy, where the temperatures are higher. So we have to be careful to provide water to our vegetables, especially during the transplant phase, which becomes really essential to help our plant take root. The soil is quite moist. The classic middle finger rule is to use your middle finger because it's the longest finger, not for any other reason, and you stick it into the soil. If the tip of your finger is wet, it means that there's water in the first 7 centimeters or so. Careful, we talked about the middle finger, but everyone has their own finger length. But keep in mind that our little plant, when we transplant it, is much, much shorter than your middle finger. So that means the wet soil, especially after transplanting, should be the first 3 centimeters. Let's use plenty of water. So, if necessary, let's also talk about aromatic plants, which are especially important for bees. At this moment, because they find few flowers, but aromatic plants give them plenty, these here are my perennial aromatic plants. We don't touch them. Right now, even though they're starting to look bad, they're starting to dry out. So the real maintenance, the real pruning will be in the winter. Right now, let's check carefully, especially the sage, to make sure it doesn't get mold. If needed, we can treat it with zeolite, no problem at all. It's quite resistant. But I'll tell you, and while we're at it, I'll also show you a bit. The aromatic herb garden project we did, especially with the borders. Speaking of aromatic plants, I want to give you an update on the whole aromatic herb garden project with the garden I made together with Soluzioni Giardino. If you're interested, I'll share the installation video. The borders are really something fantastic. Investing a little more, especially at the beginning, has brought a series of benefits. The borders are very, very durable. And as time goes by, the corten steel takes on that characteristic color that, in my opinion, makes it really elegant and unique. I'll leave everything in the description for you, of course. Let's talk about coverings, both ground coverings and aerial coverings, like mulching. I use these plastic films. They're really fantastic because they don't deteriorate and I can keep recycling them continuously. So at the end of the season, I recycle them because I reuse them. Because for about another 2 months, we still have a series of wild herbs, which are more commonly called weeds, that attack our plants. Keeping it under control is, in my opinion, a great thing, not just for the plant's growth, but especially for the amount of work hours you have to put in. Keep in mind as well that your vegetable garden is inside a house in the garden and it needs to be nice and tidy. With a reasonable hourly rate for your work, we now move on to the aerial part. These here are my zucchinis. In about 25 days, so from mid-October, we will start putting on the TNT covers. They are special covers, non-woven fabric that are used to protect our crops. The best solution is to have a greenhouse like mine. As you can see, right now I have all the salads and especially the zucchinis. I can usually grow these zucchinis in the greenhouse until early or mid-December. Of course, it depends on the temperatures. The greenhouse is a temperate place that, in my opinion, manages to make a very, very optimal transition between summer and winter. Keep in mind that if we were in northern Italy, the climate in the greenhouse would simulate that of southern Italy. So it brings us forward by a month with all the climate and temperatures. Of course, we're talking about cold greenhouses, so they're not heated. The challenge right now is understanding how to best regulate the temperature. As I mentioned before, we still have some very hot days making the greenhouse unbearable. Cleaning up the trash among the vegetables is essential. The rule is always that if you're arrogant with nature and expect too much, you end up with little, because nature gives back when you put it in the best conditions. What does this mean? Pirani, I made the mistake of transplanting using the bio-intensive method in various ways very, very close together. You can do this with vegetables, but only in certain specific climates. What does it mean that, especially with cabbages, I've seen that the minimum distance to keep is at least 50 centimeters? Here we have a first cabbage. I think it's a cauliflower. This is the Asian cabbage, pak choi. Here we have 50 centimeters diagonally, and we know that the diagonal is always longer than the side. In the meantime, we took advantage of the gaps that were there to plant some lettuces. Because this lettuce, in a very, very short cycle, about 30 days, we harvest them. As the cabbage grows and takes up all the space, we will have already removed the lettuces. This is very important, especially for fungal or insect attacks where the vegetables are heavily affected. I've noticed that there is really a lot more mold. But why isn't the air circulating as for radicchio and Swiss chard? I keep a very, very tight spacing, like in this case, so we're at 25 centimeters from each other. Here, you'll see a nice carpet will be created, but in the meantime, let's apply another trick. This is the row of chicory on the sides. We're going to plant new vegetables. If you notice, we never wait for the chicory to be all nice and big. We harvest it gradually, creating holes in the soil so we create the right spacing. Even though they are very, very close together, when they grow, our plants will have the space they need to grow. Come, I'll show you a concrete example. We have 4 chicories, one has already been harvested out of these 4. I'm going to remove this one, and after removing this plant, we'll eat it naturally. You see, I've increased the trash in the harvest here among these beets. Should I remove this one, which is still a bit smaller, or should I remove this one? I'll remove this one, I'll remove that one so that I increase the trash, because I went to harvest the vegetable. Keep in mind that when they're small, the vegetables are fine, all in the same space, but the more they grow, the more space they need, but in the meantime, we can go ahead and eat this one. So the transplant changes, but harvest. Be careful with the wrong fertilization. These 2 parts are beds, portions that we will work on in the coming days. Since we removed the tomatoes, we'll use organic fertilization that's not high in nitrogen. At this moment, giving too much nitrogen to the plants is not good. It's better to have nitrogen, let's say, during the more spring-like period. Now, at this moment, we need to nourish the soil as much as possible. So I'll leave you here in the description the organic fertilizer. It's an excellent fertilizer that naturally contains nitrogen, but in a balanced way with the other elements and microelements. Let's not underestimate insects. In autumn, there are very few, but they cause a lot of damage, and there are generally 3 types. The cabbage white butterfly, which we fight with bacillus. There's a video below in the description where I show you everything. How to do the treatment, what to do, everything you need to do. Until about mid-October, the cabbage bug, which necrotizes the plants, still here. In the description, there's the treatment to do with zeolite, the 3rd one, which is the one that causes the most damage overall. It affects not only cabbages, but especially lettuces, and also cabbages, which are targeted by snails. You need to start dealing with snails right now, because they start multiplying with the humidity. As soon as they feel a bit of moisture, they begin to look for everything that's in your garden. I repeat, there's not a single vegetable that isn't affected by snails, maybe garlic and onions. So how do we deal with them? With ferric phosphate. It's best to apply it both right after transplanting and then, according to the instruction manual, do the treatments based on the recommended schedule. If they say to do the treatment every 15 days, we follow that schedule. Can we control the slugs? Fewer problems now mean fewer issues later. So, to sum up, to make a vegetable garden without mistakes, we need a drip irrigation system. Install a timer so that we have irrigation on a regular basis. We need to have fertilizer at home that isn't too high in nitrogen and is organic, and also phosphate at home. Ferric against snails, zeolite, and bacillus, respectively, against a bit of everything, and especially against the cabbage moth. In the case of bacillus, we saw the waste. Let's go look for the vegetables and the varieties of vegetables, moving according to the criteria of early, let's say normal, and late. Generally, we plant the late ones in the first transplants, while we plant the early ones in the transplants that are a bit later. The ones we'll do in October. This way, by checking your garden even just a few hours each week, you'll get excellent results just like I am. I hope this video was helpful to you. I remind you that below there's our newsletter where we work on the garden together. It's free, signing up is completely free. I send you advice about every week or 10 days, very targeted on the actions you need to take right now. In the trash garden, which vegetables should you plant? In short, it's a great way to garden together. I hope you enjoyed this video, farmers. See you in the next video. Bye, everyone.